being part of the Facebook group of the OTA2 gives you a really good amount of confidence because you work with other coaches, other good ones, and you have access to private coaches also. And that really helped me with my confidence. It's like, it's not that you feel that people give you a service when they buy your thing. It's like you give them a service. You are good for them.
This is the online trainer show, trainer show, trainer show. This is the online trainer show. We shouldn't have a podcast.
Hello, we're live again, and I'm here with Marc-André. I'm super excited about this. Marc's numbers have been fantastic. He's on track for 40,000 this month. He told me last month was 41K. The month before that was a month that COVID hit, so he went down a little bit to 26K. The month before that, he was at 35. So for anybody keeping track, that's about $140,000 that he spent in the last 4 months. Now, the most compelling thing about this is that most of the time when people tell you their revenue numbers for online training, first of all, they can't maintain it. So they might have done like worked really hard and then had one good month because they did launch or something like that, and they can't maintain it and they can't repeat it. So when you see people say, oh, I made whatever 30,000 or 40,000 one month, it's like, yeah, tell me what you do 2 months from now. Tell me what you do 3 months from now. The other really compelling thing here is that the numbers that I gave you, like I said, 40,000 this month. If you go to Marc's PayPal account, he actually has $40,000. Right? It's not that he sold $40,000 worth of training and hasn't yet been paid for it or has all of these payment plans and stuff like that. He's actually received $40,000. Last month, he actually received $41,000. Again, a lot of that's like smoke and mirrors where people promote that they're making all this money. They're not actually receiving that money. They're saying, oh, I maybe did, I sold this much of coaching, which is great, but until that money hits your bank account, you can't account for it. The final thing that's cool about Marc, the final two things that are cool about Marc is, one, he doesn't operate in English. He operates in French. And the second, and we're going to be speaking in English, by the way, and the second is he really doesn't have much of a social media presence. He doesn't, he posts on Facebook. He has a Facebook page. He's got a community, but he doesn't really have anybody. I mean, how many Instagram followers do you have?
I don't know. I don't really use it. No.
But it doesn't matter, right? So
only.
again, yet another example, if you haven't seen a theme of, you don't need big numbers, you need to really up-level your skill and your community and figure out how you're targeting. And today we're going to talk about how Marc has up-leveled his skill, and that's led him to maintain these really impressive numbers where, like I said, it's done like 140,000 in the last 4 months. Marc, man, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So talk to me about first the decision between promoting yourself in English and French, because I know that was something you and I spoke about quite a bit.
Yeah. The decision is that I'm not that good in English, and it's I prefer to write in French, and I have all the subtleties in the language that are easier for me in French, and above that, I think you don't have to appeal to everybody. You just have to appeal to a small portion of people, but to really appeal to them. So when they feel you talk to them, they relate to you, and it's easier. So if I was operating in English, I think I would be like everyone else. I distinguish myself by being a French trainer,
Yeah, that's one of the major things I think we spoke about. Because I remember a conversation with you, it was probably a few years ago actually now, and you asked me whether you think that you should promote yourself in English, and it's a fine question, oh, the market's bigger, of course I should do it. It's like, the market's big enough in French. Like there's enough people who speak French. And clearly you're seeing that. I mean, you're able to drive $40,000 months consecutively in that. So really happy you made that decision, and also happy that you're willing to come on and speak English with me here.
It's not natural for me, but I'll do the effort. I'll do my best.
Well, and one of the things you had to do, of course, is translate all of the scripts in level 2 of the Online Trainer Academy. So talk to me about Talk to me about kind of that process of getting better at selling and converting, because, from our conversations before, that seemed to be something that really moved the needle for you.
Yeah. One of the main problem I had, and I didn't realize it before working in OTA2, is that I had a problem like converting sales. So people were contacting me, and I was really used to I was writing a little text, so yeah, I'll be happy to help you and everything, and then boom, my prices.
Yeah.
And most people, some people were buying that because they were reading and they get to know me month to month, reading me on Facebook. But most, they were just disappear. And then with you guys, I learned how taking like an appointment on the phone with those people. I learned how to sell my things. I learned how to talk to them. And it's the main thing for me in OTA2 is I become a way better seller.
Right. And that's really cool. And I think a really important note is that you had this big jump in revenue that you've been able to maintain now month after month after month, where, what was it, 35K, 26K, 41K, 40K, already this month you're on pace, or you've done, and so you'll do a bit more than that. And you really didn't change much or anything in terms of how you were attracting clients. Like this is the craziest part to me. The same people were approaching you the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't change that. And you also didn't even change that much of how you were serving them. Literally the only thing that changed is that you leveled up your skill set. Right.
Yeah. And gaining the confidence also. Being part of the Facebook group of the OTA2 gives you a really good amount of confidence because you work with other coaches, other good ones, and you have access to private coaches also. And that really helped me with my confidence. It's like, it's not that you feel that people give you a service when they buy your thing. It's like you give them a service. You are good for them. So that was the main thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned the smaller community was really impactful too. Like there was kind of nowhere for you to hide, right?
Yeah, because somebody's calling you out. If you don't answer to the accountability post, somebody's is tagging you. So, oh shit, I know I have to answer to that, and I'm quite busy. I'm quite busy, and it's if it wasn't for that, I would forget every time. But I think it's Andrea. She's like always tagging you, and all right, I have to answer to that. So yeah, when you're an online coach, entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur, you need that accountability. And for me, it was major also. Somebody other than you is asking you, did you do this? Did you do that? It's exactly what you gave to your clients.
It's like somebody's got your back. So talk to me, because I know a lot of people watching this and a lot of people that are going to watch the replay are going to really want to know what your process is. Can you talk me through your process where somebody contacts you or somebody gets put in touch with you through a referral? What do you do?
At first, I have a Google form where I send them. So they contact me like by usually DM. They DM me, and say I have an already written message say, all right, please just take a few minutes to fill the Google form. And my Google form.
And what kind of stuff is on the Google form? Just like, it doesn't have to be everything exact, but what kind of stuff's
on? Stuff about them, tell some subtle questions where that tells them that my services are not cheap, so that when they decide to hire me, it won't cost them $50 a month. So I make it clear. No, it's subtle. It's not clear. It's subtle.
And can you like offer that in English? Like, are you able to translate that at all, or no?
No, okay. Because it will be way more difficult for me to just translate everything. I chose my niche easier like that.
No, but I'm saying I'm saying for anybody listening now, like, can you give an example of maybe a subtle phrase that you use?
I asked them, what kind, by answering this form, what are you looking for? Are you shopping for prices? Are you shopping for like a training program and a menu? Or are you looking to work with an elite coach who have a lot of demands and who is
Perfect.
popular and have great results? Some things like that.
Mhm.
I ask them also some things that goes to my niche, because my niche is people who have a lot of difficulties with other things, like they try Beachbody, they try other coaches, they try like things like that, and then they come see me because I do it the right way. So
Right.
I ask them those kind of questions. I make them understand that I'm different from the get-go. When they answer
So,
that, after that, I send them a link to my Calendly, and I schedule 45-minute phone calls with them.
so you do a 45-minute call. So any way that they fill out the form. What if they fill out the form and they say I'm shopping for prices? Do you just not send it, or do you still talk to them?
I talk to them. I go DM them, make them a little smile, tell them when they're ready to have real results, contact me. You can contact me again.
Yeah, perfect. And I think that's great. I mean, you're not wasting your time because those 45-minute phone calls. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
exactly.
time that you need to be making money, right?
Yeah, because that's the main thing. Because what I told you is, all right, I did now I do phone calls, and it's doing wonders for my business, but it takes a lot of my time that I didn't invest in
Yeah.
that beforehand.
So
So
I want
I,
to talk about your time management. I want to talk
yeah,
about delegating and directing your business afterwards, because I know that this is something you and I have had a couple coaching calls. You're one of
yeah.
the few people. I think you're one of the 3 people in the last year that I've ever done any personal coaching with, um, and uh, and we've spoken about some of your next stages and some of your next
Mhm.
steps. But so you have the 45-minute phone call. So these people connect with you. What's the general flow of that phone call? Like, what are you trying to get out of it? Are you trying to sign them up on that phone call? Is that the first? How does that work?
Oh, at first I small talk with them, and then I go deep all the way. I ask difficult questions that they didn't know that I was about to ask.
Mm.
So I ask them about their real problem, their real pain. And that's one of the things we learn in OTA too, like getting that information out of people. It's like you let them talk themselves into the
Mhm.
cell. It's not easy, but the more you practice, the more you're getting good, and the more it becomes so much fun to do. And after that, when I make them talk a lot and expressing their real pain and the real reason they contact me, at the end, it's like, all right, I have that solution for you.
Yeah.
And it costs, boom, the price. And then they're not used to usually they are always surprised.
Yeah.
They talk so much in our conversation that it's hard for them to step back after that. It's
Mhm.
like, all right, we just talk about it, and I said those words. Now it's like, all right, you have the solution. I will put it on my credit card, and they're
They
happy after that.
Well, for sure, because they're happy, because they're confident that their solution or their problem is finally going to be solved. And I mean, they probably tell you more than they've ever told a spouse. I mean, the stuff that they admit to you. So you posted this in the OTA2 private group the other day. You've got 3 favorite questions
Yeah.
that you ask during these calls. What are those? Because I think a lot of people listening want to know, like, how do you, everybody says, oh, you need to get them to talk about themselves, you need to get them to go deep, but like, how do you do that? So what are your 3 questions?
The first one is it's how do you mean? In French is qu'est-ce que tu veux dire? It's really powerful because people they talk, and sometimes they say something and you say, oh, this thing, there's something else behind that. So you just pause and you make a little silence and then you say, how do you mean? And then they continue, and at that moment they tell you what they mean behind the first sentence that they said. So that this one is very important. Why now
So
is very powerful,
what
because
is it? Oh,
people,
why now? Yeah.
why now?
Hey, Jonathan Goodman here. This podcast is made possible thanks to people like you. Here's a quick word from our sponsors. Are you still trying to pick your online training software? If so, let me make this easy for you. Go with PT Distinction. It's truly the best, and I'm not just saying that because they're our sponsor. We actually use PT Distinction for our own online fitness business, online trainer coaching, and we're really happy with it. From onboarding to programming to client communication, PT Distinction has everything you need to run your online fitness business smoothly, and it's super simple to use. Now, normally they offer a free 30-day trial, but as a listener of the Online Trainer Show, you get a free 60-day trial, so you can make sure you love them before spending a dime. If you want to deliver first-class service to your clients while reclaiming your time, then visit onlinetrainer.com/PTD to sign up for your free 60-day trial today. If you're a fitness nutrition coach that's looking to master online coaching so that you can help more people, make more money, and have more freedom, then the Online Trainer Academy can help. OTA gives you the framework, knowledge, and support to have predictable success with your online coaching business. From marketing to business development to how to assess and motivate your clients online, it is constantly updated and refreshed to keep up with a dynamic market. Not only that, OTA is proven. In 7 years, we've helped over 30,000 coaches in 87 countries go online. Truth is, we know what works, so you can get right to the success part. And in case you're busy working a full-time job or you're a full-time parent, know that you can go at your own pace. There's no deadlines to complete OTA and you have lifetime access. That said, if you are ready to make a rapid change and finish the course in the next 8 to 12 weeks, you can expect to invest 3 to 5 hours each week on the program. And here's the best part. If you join today, you will make an extra $1,000 a month in 90 days, or I'll give you your money back. So if you're ready to build the fitness business you want and make the money you deserve, go to onlinetrainer.com/academy to enroll today. And I hope to see you in there. So tell me about why now.
They try to always postpone things. They procrastinate. So when you sell them and you have a higher price at the end, if they didn't tell you before why they should act now, they will try to postpone it again. But if they answer you beforehand that they have to do it right now, it's at the end, it's like you have all the cards in your play, and you told me it's now because you told me the real reason now. So you really have to ask why now during the conversation. It's so important. And there's another one.
Tell me more about.
Yeah, because sometimes they, like I said for the first one, they try to say on the surface, it's like, what do you want? Why do you want coaching? What's your need? It's like, oh, I want to get in shape. All right. Okay. So tell me more about that. Tell me what's that for you? And after that, there comes the real pain, because the real thing is like they want to look sexy. They want to please their husband. They want all those things. So with this question, they go behind that. They tell you the real thing.
I love, my favorite one is why now.
Oh, why now is...
It's so powerful.
Oh, it's powerful.
Because if somebody is not going to sign up, you will know very quickly when they answer that question, why now? But what you're doing by asking it throughout the conversation, and it's, basically what we do in level 2 of the Online Trainer Academy is a large part of it is really building your scripts. And these things are bulletproof. And the reason why they're bulletproof, like we have people who have sold insurance door to door for 10 years. That's like, this is the best sales training I've ever seen. Sure. And the reason why it's so bulletproof is the objection windows are closed throughout, not at the end. To your point, you say this why now is really, really powerful, because once they answer that, that's not an objection at the end. I'll do this later. Or really, there are some objections that are real objections, right? Something is in the way, money's really not a problem. But most objections that people will say to you are not actual objections, they're procrastinations. And your job as a coach is to take those things off the table if you want to help that person really make a change. And that has to be a part of your conversation. If they have a chance to object with that, now you're backpedaling.
Yep.
Right? Now you're trying to kind of like keep up with that person. But if you deal with it throughout, you get in front of it, you be proactive.
Yeah, I love your image. You just close door when you talk to them, and when you ask those kind of questions, like, all right, that door is closed. Let's go to the next. And like you said, you need to have a script for that. And you guys, you teach us how to do a script that you can follow step by step to get there, to get where we are heading right now.
Well, that's it. Like we, we provide you with the script and we work with you to make it yours.
Yeah.
And we tell you about it. We tell you why it's having, why it's there. But the reality of it is, we don't tell you all the ins and outs. But like in that script is worked in all of the. I mean, how many different objections are there really?
Oh, not much.
There's not that. And how many real objections are there? There's only like usually 2, maybe 3 real objections.
Yeah.
That people have. I mean, maybe it's time, maybe it's money. It could be spouse, but like there aren't very many real objections.
When they have the same bank account, this is the worst.
Yeah.
It happens. They have one credit card, one bank account. There's a poof. No, you can't do anything about this.
Well, at the same time, no, you can't do anything about that. But I mean, look, like, Allison, my wife, we have a joint bank account and then we have our own bank accounts. But the reality of it is, I think in a healthy relationship where the people are supporting each other, they support each other. Like if the husband or the wife wants to do something and the other one doesn't, and the problem is that they have a joint bank account and one thinks that they should spend money, like they're not going to be supportive of that training either. So there's probably, like, I don't know, to me that might be something that I'd want to bring the spouse in for the call. And that's something we train you to do too, right?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah, but like at the same time, if the spouse is really unsupportive, the training's going to be pretty bad, and the relationship
you will lose it. You lose your time. Not good.
I see a message here, and I can't actually see who said the message because it's like a privacy thing in our software. But I just want to tell a funny story. Somebody just said I signed a client who was a Wall Street broker, and he knew my script and called me out on it, and we joked about it. I had something like this happen to me when I was a trainer. I'll never forget. He was in real estate as well, actually, but he was in real estate sales. And I remember, I was being silent. Basically, I asked for the sale, and then it's their turn to speak next.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that you want to do is ask for the sale and be like, but, and like back up.
No,
you kill it. Like we actually teach you guys, like press mute on your phone. Press mute on your computer, but you can't do that in person. So the funniest part was we sat there in silence. I kid you not, for 2 full minutes. And it got to the point where we were just joking. Because it was just funny. Like he knew what I was doing. I knew what he was doing. And we just sat there, man, and we just looked at each other. And at one point I just pressed the timer. We looked at him straight in the eye and just like,
at the beginning, when you start to sell on the phone, you really lack that confidence, and when you drop your price, and there's that silence, it's so you're not good. You're like, oh, I want to talk. But when you get over that, you discover that you get power in the sell. But it's human. It's really human. We don't like silence, but selling is silence most of the time.
Selling is silence, and selling is asking great questions.
Asking questions.
Tell me more about that. Why now? Mm-hmm. Another part of this question is, how do you deal with somebody who sees through or calls you out on your sales script? I like that question because nobody likes to be sold to.
No. But
people like to be heard. Part of what... Oh, somebody actually responded. That's called mastery. It's about doing, it's about doing so many calls that you flow and don't sound scripted, and that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Mastery in sales is having a real conversation and having a real flow. A script is not a script that you read. A script is a series of bullet points and talking
that
points.
you know how you know where you are going with the script, but you don't have complete sentences written on your computer. If you do that, you're dead.
Well, nobody likes to be sold to. I mean, you can smell it a mile away, and you know you're on a sales call. I mean, that's why you're there, but you still don't like to be sold to. It's this weird, like, kind of psychological thing. But that is. I mean, that's mastery. Like, we had it in our group. John in our group, John V. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It's got like 27 letters.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
John, yeah, he he had a rougher week last week. He had a bunch of calls that didn't convert, and then this week he just posted and he's like, "Yeah, my first 2 calls converted." Can't remember what he's selling it for, but it's over 1,000 for 12 weeks, and it's just a matter of this. Is again goes back to like having people in your corner, having coaches in your corner, having people to talk to, because it can feel when you're in the weeds and it's not going well, even for a couple of days, it can feel really rough. But that's a matter of putting in the reps. Like, talk to me about it. You like, this was a process for you. This is still a process for you. I mean, when you started, you were not as good as you are now, right?
Absolutely not. Wait, not in the same league. Not in me in February and me right now. 2 complete same coach, 2 times the confidence, and with my clients, I'm more confident in my coaching, and in my selling, it's something else. I feel so much confidence, and it's the community, the like you said, like that guy John. I don't know him, but I feel like I know him, and a lot of those guys, we know each other, and it's so fun to have people.
Well, you guys practice with each other too. In order to graduate level 2 of the Online Trainer Academy, you have to do a minimum number of practice calls and practice DM conversations with other students, in addition to the training that we do like one-on-one with you. Because it's just, you just got to do it. And like, it's kind of cool. Like, you guys get to know each other. And
It's very fun. It's one of the main reason why it's so good. It's because you feel somebody's got your back. So other guys who do the same thing as you, coaches who knows more than you about marketing and selling. So you feel you're not alone. So it's so important, and it's so great.
Cool, man. Well, let's leave on this. I got a question for you, because there's a lot of confusion about this as we open up OTA 2 more and more. I mean, you came in where I invited you privately to it, but now we're basically opening up and inviting people to apply to it if they want. And so, to people who are listening to this now and in the future, who would you recommend it for? Like OTA 2 isn't for everybody, so who would you recommend it for?
Somebody who already has experience and who feels that, like myself, that the business is like that big mud. It's when you're confused, it gives you direction. So I wouldn't recommend it to somebody who started with the COVID thing on the internet, just became an online coach. But I recommend it to someone who has already have a business and want to scale it way higher. It's a no-brainer for those guys.
Because with you, really, it was one tweak. There was one thing. And some people that we work with, there's more. There's a few broken links. With you, there was one broken link. Like I said, nothing changed really from the types of people who are contacting you were the exact same. How they were contacting you, where you communicated, and the program that you offered were all the same things.
Yeah.
The only thing that changed was your skill set in selling and converting, and that led to a $35,000 a month, then a $26,000 as the pandemic hit, then a $41,000 a month, then a $40,000 a month, and now we're you just keep rolling with that. That was like that's all it was. Crazy.
But for somebody who just start and doesn't have like that program already figured out, you guys have this guy's back also. So somebody who doesn't know how to deliver like a premium program,
Oh yeah,
OTA2 will show you all the way.
yeah. And so you had a program that lined up well with it, but complete. I just got a message from Ben Mudge, who was in there from Belfast as well, and he just messaged me and said he just finished his second launch, and between his 2 launches of his new premium program, he's done £41,000 in the last month and a half, which British pounds is like what 60,000 US, 65,000 US, or something like that. And I mean, this is a guy who was charging like $100 before then, had no program that was right for this, and had a like was kind of building like a low end membership site. And the coolest part is now his low end membership site is serving cystic fibrosis community. He can actually do that to a greater extent and serve that community better. Because, but we've had to work with him to build his program from the ground up. Like, what's he going to offer? What's he going to name it? Like everything. So it's different. So cool. Mark, you're the best, man. Anybody who's listening now into the future, if you are looking to scale up your online training business, just like Marc-André, go to theptc.com/OTA2, fill out the application form there. You can read a little bit more about the program if you want. And then from there, once you fill out the form, you can schedule your first 2 interviews for the program. And like I said, we vet people really strong with this. If you're not ready, we will tell you. We turn away 50 to 60% of applicants. And that's not people saying no to us. That's us saying, you're not ready for it yet. Here's what you need to do to be ready for it and come back, in a few months when you are. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will be back in a couple days with yet another OTA2 student. Mark, thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you.
This is the Online Trainer Show. Trainer Show. Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show. We shouldn't have a podcast.